Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be covering is going over the American League games of yesterday. Then after that, moving into the National League. Then we'll be talking about some notable games from over the weekend on Friday and Saturday, which I did not have a chance to cover as I don't do a show over the weekend. And finally, we'll be going over some news around the league, just some injury and transaction stuff that is related. Now, before we do that, I would like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read on the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get into the show today. All right, as I said, we are going to be starting with the American League games of yesterday as our first segment, like we usually do. I am recording in a new location today, so if there is a little bit of background noise, I do apologize, but I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. All right, so let's get started with the first American League game. We have Astros and Rockies, the second game of the Mexico series. So, it should be pretty interesting, and let's get into it. So, top of the first, Yordan Alvarez would hit a sacrifice fly to score Jose Altuve to make it 1-0 Astros. Then Kyle Tucker would hit his 7th home run of the year to make it 2-0. Really great start by this Astros offense. I mean, they've been struggling a lot recently, but the offense is always going to be great, and this dynamic duo, quote-unquote, Yordan and Kyle Tucker, coming through in a really great way. After that, in the bottom of the second, Sean Bochard of the Rockies would hit an RBI single to score Elias Diaz to make it 2-1 Houston. Jacob Stallings would hit a sacrifice fly to tie up the game, making it 2-2. In the top of the third, Jose Altuve would hit a solo shot to make it 3-2, and would give the Astros the lead, his 7th home run of the year. Top of the fourth, Jeremy Pena would hit a solo home run himself to make it 4-2 Astros. And at the top of the eighth, Alex Bregman would hit an RBI single, a Kyle Tucker RBI groundout, and a Yanner Diaz double would make it 8-2 Houston, and they would end up winning the game at that score. So a really nice outing by Houston. You know, you have to come in clutch against these bad teams like the Rockies when you are underperforming like the Astros are. I mean, obviously we know of their World Series pedigree. We thought they would be a World Series contender so far this year, and they just have not been that good. So I think when you do play a team like the Rockies, who is not that good, who is known as one of the worst teams in baseball, you have to take that opportunity and beat them. So really nice job there by Houston. The Astros, they had on the mound Framber Valdez. He went 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, no home runs, 2.50 ERA in the season. You know, Mr. Framber Valdez, he could be called Mr. Reliable. He's been really, really good this season, and just a great pitcher for them with all the injuries they've had. He's been really consistent, so that's a good sign for them. For the Rockies, they had on the mound Austin Gomber. He went 7 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 home runs. I mean, 4 earned runs obviously is a little more than you would like, but at the same time, going 7 against the Astros offense is pretty good, and I'd say it's an overall quality start for Austin Gomber. Again, you don't want to give up that many runs, but at the same time, you're playing the Astros offense, so I don't think that it's too big of a deal. Next game we have is Athletics and Orioles, one of the best teams in baseball versus arguably one of the worst, so it should be an interesting one. Top of the second, Seth Brown would hit a solo home run to make it 1-0 Oakland. And then in the bottom of the second, Cedric Mullins would hit into an RBI groundout to tie up the game at 1. Colton Cowser would hit an RBI double to make it 2-1, but J.J. Bleday would answer right back for the A's, hitting an RBI double to make it 2-2. Brent Rooker would then also hit an RBI single to make it 4-2. Bottom of the third, Adley Rutschman would hit a solo home run, his 4th of the year, to make it 4-3 Oakland. Then Ryan Mountcastle would tie it up. Would give the Orioles the lead, actually, with a 2-run home run to make it 5-4, his 4th of the year. Bottom of the fourth, Ramon Urias would hit a solo shot, his 1st of the year, actually, so nice shot for him, and would make it 6-4 Baltimore. Top of the 7th, Tyler Nevin would hit a solo home run to make it 6-5 Baltimore, so nice job getting them within a run there. So also a little bit of a revenge home run for Nevin, who did used to play for Baltimore, so nice job for him there. And in the top of the 9th, the big blow would come with a Kyle McCann 2-run home run to make it 7-6 Oakland, and that would give the big lead to the A's, and they would end up winning this game at that score. For the Orioles, they had on the mound Albert Suarez, who was okay, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. It was a guy that was a really significant pitcher for the Orioles this season so far. It was really, really great for them. So I don't think you're putting too much stock into this less than stellar start because he has been so good for you. But, we'll be seeing if he can continue with stuff like this and seeing if he can continue this great start to the season he had. So hopefully so. For the A's, they had on the mound Paul Blackburn. He went 4 innings pitched, giving up 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and 3 home runs over 3.34 ERA in the season. You can see he didn't have a good start at all, but still has a 3.34 ERA in the season. Shows you how good he's been. As I've said before, I think Blackburn is a really underrated pitcher and just a really underrated player, and I think he's going to get a lot back at the deadline for this team. I think he's a really quality pitcher, and I think any return the A's can get back will really, really help them. Next game we have is going to be Blue Jays and Dodgers, battle of two blue teams. In the bottom of the second, Dalton Varsho would open up the scoring as he would hit an RBI groundout to make it 1-0 Toronto, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa would do the same to make it 2-0, and Alejandro Kirk would hit a solo shot, his first of the year. Has a really rough season so far, but nice job finally getting on the board, making it 3-0 Toronto, all in the bottom of the second. The Dodgers would hit a home run with a Freddie Freeman shot, only his second of the year, so that's pretty surprising, to make it 3-1 Toronto, and they would not score after that, and neither would the Blue Jays, and they would end up winning 3-1 Toronto. So really nice job by Toronto there to end up winning this game against a good Dodgers team, and just solid. For the Dodgers, they had on the mound Michael Grove. He went 2 innings pitched, giving up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and a homer, a 6.88 ERA in the season. Was made the opener for the Dodgers. After that, you would have guys like Ryan Yarborough be the main bulk guy for you. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, so quality start there, but definitely want more out of Grove, who only went 2 innings, giving up 3 runs. I definitely think that you need more from that. So the Blue Jays, they had on the mound Kevin Gausman. He went 7 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts and a home run. So 4.50 ERA in the season so far. Not the best, but not a horrible start for this anyways, especially against the Dodgers. 7 innings pitched, only 1 hit. Really, really great start for him. Next one we have is going to be Tigers and Royals. In the top of the first, Bobby Witt Jr. would hit an RBI single to make it 1-0 Kansas City. And then in the bottom of the first, Juancio Perez would hit a 2-run shot to make it 2-1 Detroit. Bottom of the second, Riley Green would hit a sacrifice fly to make it 3-1, and a Jake Rogers solo shot would make it 4-1 Detroit, his second of the year. So a really nice job by Detroit here to end up winning this game. Kansas City would not score after the top of the first, so a really quality job by their pitching and by this good Detroit pitching staff. So beating one of your division rivals who is on kind of the same tier as you and who has been a really good team this year, I'd say that's a pretty great start for you guys, and just a good job there. Tigers did have on the mound Tariq Skubal, who went 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 6 strikeouts, 1.72 ERA in the season. Really, really solid start there. Can't ask for much more than 7 innings pitched and earned run against a quality Royals team. Pretty great. The Royals had on the mound Michael Wacha. He went 5 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 9 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. A 4.24 ERA on the season. So not a great start for him. I'd say you definitely want it to be a little bit better, but at the same time, I think that the Royals offense is pretty good. The Tigers offense is pretty good, and I'm not going to put too much stock into it. He's been really good this season. So next game we have here is going to be Rays and White Sox. Really interesting series for this, as the White Sox would really just surprise everyone, as in the top of the fourth, Isaac Paredes would hit a solo home run to make it 1-0 Tampa. Bottom of the fourth, Robbie Grossman would tie it up for the Sox, hitting a RBI single to make it 1-1. Then a Danny Mendick RBI single to score Eloy Jimenez would make it 2-1. Andrew Benintendi would hit an RBI single to make it 4-1. And Jairo Ramirez would get some runs back for the Rays, hitting an RBI double to make it 4-2. But at the same time, that would be it for the White Sox, as they would end up winning this game 4-2, and they would end up sweeping the Rays as well. So really, really surprising. We're going to talk about this more in our third segment, so be tuned to stay in for that. But just a really surprising revelation for the Rays here, and also for the White Sox. Sweeping a good team like the White Sox when you've had the season you have had, I'd say it's not really something that you were expecting. So really nice job there. The Rays had on the mound Zach Littell. He went 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, a 3.27 ERA on the season. So really solid by him. For the White Sox, they had Eric Fetty, who was absolutely phenomenal. 8 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts, a 2.6 ERA in the season so far for the White Sox. This is one of the most underrated contracts of the off seasons. I thought he was going to be really, really good for the White Sox. I thought it was a great signing for them, betting on his results overseas. So overall, I think it's a really good job by them, and just shows how good of a start he had. So we're talking about the Yankees now. So the guy in the chat who wants to talk about the Yankees, here you go. Top of the first, the scoring would open up with a Aaron Judge solo home run to make it 1-0 New York. Then in the top of the fifth, Anthony Volpe would hit a 3-run home run to make it 4-0. Willie Adames would get a little bit back for the Brewers, making it 4-1 with an RBI double. Jake Bauers would then hit a 3-run home run to make it 4-4 Milwaukee, tying the game up against his former team. Nice revenge run. Gleyber Torres with an RBI single in the top of the sixth, make it 5-4. Then a Jose Trevino RBI single, make it 7-4. A wild pitch by pitcher Elvis Guerrero would make it 8-4 New York. A Juan Soto single would make it 9-4 New York. And then an Aaron Judge RBI single would make it 11-4 New York. So a really strong inning there. I mean, scoring 7 runs, not much better you can ask for. So really great there. Blake Perkins would walk with the bases loaded in the bottom of the sixth to make it 11-5, and he would end up. That would be the last runs the Brewers would end up getting. Top of the seventh, Oswaldo Cabrera would hit an RBI single to make it 12-5, and a Jose Trevino sacrifice fly would make it 13-5. And Anthony Rizzo, 2-run home run, his fifth of the season, would make it 15-5 New York, and they would end up winning the game at that score. So a really strong start for the Yankees, and a really strong game for them. They had on the mound Marcus Stroman, who was not great. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. You want to keep the walks down, and I think you want to go deeper into a game as well. So definitely want to see it improve upon that. For the Brewers, they had on the mound Tobias Myers, who was decent. He went 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Strong start there for him. Someone's asking, what are my thoughts on Volpe for the year? I think Volpe is one of the better players. And I think Volpe's going to be one of the best shortstops in all baseball pretty soon. I think he's top 10. I think his defense is going to be pretty great, and I think his hitting tool is coming together. The thing about him is he doesn't need to be so a significantly great hitter. I think he has to just be above average and just good, I think, with how great his defense is. So, I think Volpe's a really, really great player for the future and one of the building blocks of the Yankees, especially if you can keep Soto going. Especially if you can extend Soto, I think you're going to have a great hitting core for the future. Next game we have is going to be Rangers and Reds. Bottom of the first, Adolis Garcia would hit a 2-run home run to make it 2-0, and Wyatt Langford would hit an inside the park home run for his first one of the year in the MLB to make it 4-0 Texas. Top of the sixth, Will Benson would hit an RBI single to make it 4-1 Texas, and a Spencer Steer RBI single would make it 4-3 in the top of the sixth. But that would be it for the Reds, and they would end up losing this game 4-3. So they had some strong outings for this offense, but couldn't score after the sixth and would end up losing to the defending champion Rangers. Now it's really interesting that it took this long for Wyatt Langford to hit his first home run of his MLB career. I was expecting him to be much better. I think he's still been solid for a rookie, but I was kind of expecting him to light the world on fire as soon as he got up, which he hasn't done, of course, but he's still been really solid. So the Reds had on the mound Andrew Abbott, who went 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 3.27 ERA on the season. The Rangers had Dane Dunning. He went 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, no walks, 10 strikeouts, a 4.13 ERA on the season. So pretty solid start there. I mean, no walks, 10 strikeouts, really, really great stuff. Next game we have is going to be Twins and Angels. Scoring would open up for this in the top of the fourth with a Jose Miranda RBI single. Then an Austin Martin 2-run single would make it 3-0. A Ryan Jeffers RBI single would make it 4-0. And a Manuel Margot would make it 5-0 Minnesota. So a really strong start there for the Twins offense. Bottom of the fifth, Joe Adell would hit an RBI double to make it 5-1. And a Luis Rengifo 2-run home run to make it 5-3. Nolan Schanuel would hit a solo home run, to make it 5-4 Los Angeles. Then Alex Kirilloff would hit a ground rule double to make it 7-4. Carlos Santana would hit an RBI ground out to make it 8-4, and a Willie Castro RBI single would make it 9-4. Mike Trout would hit an RBI single to make it 9-5, getting some runs back for Los Angeles, but be no match as the Twins would end up winning the game by 11-5 with a Ryan Jeffers sacrifice fly and a Jose Miranda RBI double to make it 11-5 Minnesota. So really strong win for the Twins here with the kind of season they've had. I think this is something that is really positive for them. For Minnesota, they had on the mound Pablo Lopez, who went 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 2 home runs for a 3 ERA on the season. For the Angels, they had on the mound Reed Detmers, who went 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and a 3.12 ERA on the season. So, really nice outing by Reed Detmers there. It's really, really strong. The last game, we're going to hold off for the National League as we're kind of running out of time for this segment. So, we go into our second segment, of course, which is talking about the National League games of yesterday. So, and we'll see you after that. So, thanks and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we are back for our second segment. Now, before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read on the air, please use the link at gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And we're going to go back to our second segment here, which is talking about the National League games of yesterday. Of course, we did have a segment on the American League games, as usual. So, we'll be talking about this, and we'll start it off with Mets and Cardinals. A really exciting game here. Cardinals had taken the first 2 games of the series. The Mets were looking to bounce back a little bit, now losing 2 series in a row after that great win against the Dodgers. They're kind of looking to get the vibes right, quote-unquote. So, it would open up with the top of the 5th, a Michael Ciani RBI sacrifice bunt with a man on third, scoring Mason Wynn. So, really strong job there by Ciani. He knows his strong suit isn't hitting the ball, so he uses his speed to leg out a single and get a RBI with the bases loaded. So, really nice job there. Bottom of the 6th, Francisco Lindor would tie up the game with a solo home run, his 5th of the year, to make it 1-1. We know how much Lindor has been struggling this year with the bat, so really strong home run there to tie up the game. Top of the 11th, Brendan Donovan. We're going to extras now. Top of the 10th for both teams. The 10th inning for both teams would not yield any runs. In the top of the 11th, Brendan Donovan would hit an RBI single to make it 2-1 St. Louis. To give the lead for them, obviously. Bottom of the 11th, Harrison Bader would hit an RBI single to score G.J. Stewart to make it 2-2 with 2 strikes on the count, and one more strike would have won the game for St. Louis. So really nice job by there for Bader to come in clutch against his former team and tie up the game. Then the big blow would come in the bottom of the 11th, a Mark Vientos a 2-run home run, his first of the season back in the MLB, a walk-off, and would win the game for the Mets. So Vientos had a really, really interesting season. Got his job stolen by J.D. Martinez, got sent down after he expected to be the starting DH for the team all camp. So it's been really tough, but, showed a lot of heart overcoming that adversity and hitting the walk-off home run for the Mets against the Cardinals. And the Mets needed this win, so a really nice job by him. He's in the lineup again today, so obviously is doing this for a reason, and the Mets are seeing it. So, great job for him. For the Mets, they had on the mound Jose Quintana, who was absolutely brilliant. 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts, a 3.48 ERA in the season. Really, really great start by him. Mets pitcher hadn't touched the 7th inning before the start, and he went 8 against his former team as well, so really great job there. The Cardinals had on the mound Lance Lynn. He went 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2.64 ERA on the season. So really strong start there. So good win by the Mets. They still did lose the series, but they're playing the Cubs now, 4 games at home. I think if they can take 3 out of 4, they'll get everything right. They're coming off a lot of momentum after that walk-off win. So really nice job. Next game we have is going to be Braves and Athletics. Braves and Guardians. I don't know why I said Athletics. I just did that game, so I apologize about that. Going back to the National League, which is going to be... it is Braves and Guardians. Okay. Got a little... top of the third, Andres Gimenez would hit an RBI single to make it 1-0 Cleveland. Then in the top of the fifth, he would steal second base to score Brian Rokicchio. And a wild pitch by Bryce Elder would score Rokicchio, so make it 2-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the fifth, Chadwick Trump would get a run on the board for Atlanta, making it 2-1. And then at the top of the seventh, Stephen Kwan would hit a RBI single to make it 3-1. Ozzie Albies would hit an RBI double to make it 3-2. And a Matt Olson RBI single would tie it up at 3 in the bottom of the eighth. Top of the 10th, Austin Riley would hit a walk-off for the Braves, hitting an RBI single to center fielder Tyler Freeman to score Ronald Acuna Jr. So a really nice walk-off win by the Braves. Guardians have exceeded a lot of expectations and become one of the best teams in baseball. So I think it's a really solid win by the Braves to beat this Guardians team who has been so great this season, and they're 1 win away already from 20 wins on the season. They had on the mound Bryce Elder, who went 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts, 1.50 ERA on the season. For the Guardians, they had on the mound, Ben Lively, who went 4 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, and earned run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts, 2.3 ERA on the season. So really strong start there. Next game we have here is going to be Nationals and Marlins. A really exciting game. 2 really awful teams, but game still turned out very interesting. Bottom of the first, Jazz Chisholm would open up the game with a grand slam, his third home run of the year, to make it 4-0 Miami. What a great start by him. Vidal Brujan, the former Ray, would hit an RBI triple to make it 5-0, and Nick Fortes would hit an RBI single to make it 6-0 Miami, just like that in the bottom of the first. So great job there by this offense. New Marlin Emmanuel Rivera would hit an RBI double to make it 7-0 Miami. And at the top of the fourth, Jacob Young would hit an RBI double to make it 7-1. CJ Abrams would hit a double to make it 7-3, and a Nick Senzel two-run home run to make it 7-5 Miami. Just like that, the Nationals were within 2 runs of the game, 2 runs of the lead. Really strong top of the fourth by them. And then on the top of the fifth, Jacob Young would hit an RBI single to score Trey Lipscomb to make it 7-6, and then Nick Senzel with the big blow, a 3-run home run to make it 9-7 Washington and complete the comeback. A great job by the Nationals team. Trey Lipscomb would steal second base, which would cause Iltamar Vargas to steal home. A successful double steal would make it 10-7 Washington. Tim Anderson would hit an RBI double to make it 10-8, and a Jesus Sanchez RBI single would make it 10-9. So the Marlins would attempt to come back a little bit, but it would be thwarted as in the top of the eighth, a wild pitch by Brian Hoeing would score Trey Lipscomb to make it 11-9, and Jacob Young with an RBI single to make it 12-9 Washington. Really, really solid game there for Washington, and just a great start. Great game for them. Coming back against this Marlins team, they're really young. They have a lot going for them, so I think it's a really big positive when you can get a win like this for this young team. They had on the mound Patrick Corbin, who was, of course, as we know of, awful. 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 6.82 ERA in the season. As we know of, Corbin is one of the worst contracts in baseball by most people. Personally, I don't think it, because I think he did a job already, which was win the World Series, so I think he's kind of in the clear for the rest of his contract, but he's only got 1 year left. It opens up a lot of money for the Nationals this offseason. I expect him to get a lot of good players and improve this young team. So he only got a few starts left with the Nationals fans. Be happy. Marlins had on the mound Ryan Weathers, who went 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. It's had an up-and-down season so far. I think this start kind of shows a lot of what his season has been. Just okay, nothing too crazy, just decent. So an okay start by him, but nothing too extraordinary. Next game we have is going to be Pirates and Giants. Scoring would open up in the bottom of the third with a Tyler Estrada solo home run. Then a Mike Yastrzemski solo home run would make it 2-0, and 3-0 with a Lamont Wade Jr. sacrifice fly to score Tyler Fitzgerald. Top of the fifth, Jared Triola would ground out to make it 3-1, and he would hit an RBI single in the top of the ninth to make it 3-2, but they would not score after that and would end up losing. The Pirates, they had on the mound Jared Jones, who was phenomenal again. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Has had such an amazing start to the season so far. Is proving to be a big part of the Pirates' future and has been a really good player. For the Giants, they had on the mound Keaton Winn. He went 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, a 3.18 ERA on the season. Really, really strong start by him. I thought he would be one of the breakout players of the season so far, and he's not proven me wrong. Been really, really solid. Next game we have here is going to be Diamondbacks and Mariners, battle of 2 West Coast teams. Bottom of the first, scoring would open up with a Josh Rojas solo home run, his 3rd of the year, and a little bit of a revenge home run as the Diamondbacks did trade him last year, so nice job there for him. Top of the second, Christian Walker would hit a solo shot to make it 1-1, and in the bottom of the third, Julio Rodriguez would hit an RBI single to make it 2-1. At the top of the 7th, Eugenio Suarez would hit an RBI double to make it 2-2. And at the top of the 8th, Ketel Marte would hit an RBI double to make it 3-2. And the Diamondbacks would end up winning this game 3-2. So really solid win there by them. They haven't been the best this season, only being at 12-16 before this game. But really strong win there. And I think whenever you beat a team you made a big trade with, or a team that is kind of associated with you, I think it's something that is a really big positive. Diamondbacks had on the mound Brandon Pfaadt, who went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts. When Pfaadt is working, he is a really, really great pitcher, has some great stuff, and I really am looking forward to watching his career develop. I think he can be a really, really great pitcher. For the Mariners, they had on the mound Logan Gilbert. He went 6 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 9 strikeouts, a 2.03 ERA on the season. Really, really strong start by him there. Has been really, really great this season, and his control is just amazing. That's really been the thing he's known for throughout his career, and it has been really, really great. Next game we have is going to be Phillies and Padres. Scoring would open up in the top of the second with a Bryson Stott 2-run home run to make it 2-0. And in the bottom of the third, Fernando Tatis Jr. would an RBI double to make it 2-1, getting a run on the board for the Padres. Jake Cronenworth would hit a 2-run shot to make it 3-2, and in the top of the fourth, Bryson Stott would hit a 2-run home run to make it 4-3 Philly. Top of the sixth, JT Realmuto would make it 6-3, and again would make it 7-3 with a RBI single. Bottom of the seventh, Luis Campusano would hit a 3-run home run to get the Padres within 7-6, so the catchers on both teams would come in clutch. But in the top of the eighth, the Phillies would get some more insurance runs with a Johan Rojas RBI double to make it 8-6, and they would end up winning the game at that score. Padres had on the mound Michael King, who went 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Has really not been good since coming to the Padres. If he doesn't keep this up, I think we could look at the Soto to the Yankees trade as one of the best in baseball history for the Yankees. So, might be overreacting a little bit, but I think Michael King really needs to step it up. Phillies had on the mound Taijuan Walker, who went 6 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts in his first start back from the injured list. Yes, he's getting paid a lot of money, but I think when you look at the overall depth of this Phillies rotation, I think Spencer Turnbull is clearly a better option. And I think that Taijuan Walker might lose his role in the rotation soon, even though he is getting paid all this money. It is going to be something that is very interesting to watch. The last game we have is going to be Cubs and Red Sox, two teams that did make a trade over the weekend, which we'll be talking about in our last segment. Bottom of the first, Connor Wong would an RBI single to make it 1-0 Boston, and then would hit another RBI single in the bottom of the third to make it 2-0, so nice job by him. Bottom of the sixth, Jarren Duran would an RBI triple to make it 4-0. Top of the seventh, though, Matt Mervis would get a run on the board for the Cubs, making it 4-1. A Mike Tauchman 3-run home run in the top of the eighth would tie up the game, making it 4-4. A great moment for Tauchman. Has really found himself with the Cubs, and this might be his shining moment. A 3-run home run to tie up the game in the eighth against this Red Sox team. Really great job there. Bottom of the ninth, unfortunately, Tyler O'Neill would hit a RBI single to make it 5-4 Boston and win the game on a walk-off for them. So, as much as it was a really great moment for this Cubs team, the Red Sox would end up winning. Red Sox had on the mound Tanner Houck, who went 6 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 4 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 9 strikeouts, a 1.6 ERA on the season. The Cubs had on the mound Hayden Wisniewski. He won 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and no home runs. A .87 ERA on the season. Has been really good since coming up. Again, you'd like to see him go deeper into games, but over 10 innings pitched, he has only a .87 ERA in the season. So, really great job there. All right, so that is it for our second segment of the day today. We're moving on to our third segment, which is going to be talking about the Friday and Saturday games. I didn't have a chance to recap these as I'm not on stream over the weekend, of course. So, yeah, we'll be talking about those after the break. So, thanks and see you then. Bye.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about the Friday and Saturday games that I did not have a chance to recap. We're not going to be going over all of them because that would be way too much to talk about, but just the notable games that I did want to give my thoughts on. So, yeah, we'll be doing that. I'm going to come back right after, and I'm going to do something quickly, and I'll be right back. Thanks, and bye. And we're back. Sorry about that. Just had to handle something off stream. Yeah, we're going back here to the Friday and Saturday games that I didn't have a chance to talk about. Yeah, again, these are just the notable games that I did want to touch upon. Again, not all of them, because that would be way too much to talk about in one segment. But I didn't get a chance to talk about them over the weekend, obviously. So yeah, just wanted to talk about them now. So here we go. Yeah, so the first game we have is going to be Orioles and A's on Friday. This was a really interesting game that I did want to give my thoughts upon. So yeah, we'll be going over that quickly. And yeah, so it was going to open up in the top of the first with a Shea Langelier solo home run to make it 1-0 Oakland. Bottom of the third, Ryan O'Hearn with an RBI single to make it 1-1. Cedric Mullins would hit a solo home run to make it 2-1. In the top of the ninth, Abraham Toro would hit an RBI double to make it 2-2. And at the top of the 10th, Brent Rooker would hit a RBI double to make it 3-2 Oakland, and they would end up winning this game. The A's had on the mound Ross Stripling, who went 5 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run, 4.98 ERA on the season. So really strong start there. Kind of surprising as well. He hasn't been that great this season. The Orioles had on the mound Corbin Burns, who won 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2.55 ERA in the season. A really interesting game here. The A's would end up winning it in extra innings versus the Orioles, and it was just interesting because the A's aren't supposed to be the worst team in baseball history, but at the same time, they haven't been that bad so far, and I think that when taking that into account, it's just been interesting to see what has happened with them. So as much as we thought they would be maybe the worst team ever, they really haven't been that bad, and they just beat a quality team in the Orioles. So we'll be seeing what happens with them, and we'll be seeing just overall what happens with their season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. Next, that was the only game from Friday I did want to talk about by itself. You'll see what I mean soon. For Saturday, you had Red Sox and Cubs, which I did want to touch upon. So for this game, it was all Red Sox. So we're just going to go over what happened for the Red Sox. Tyler O'Neill would hit a 2-run home run to make it 2-0. A Cedeno Rafael sacrifice fly would make it 3-0. A Wilyer Abreu RBI single would make it 4-0. A Bobby Dialbeck RBI single would make it 5-0. A Cedeno Rafael RBI double would make it 8-0. A Jarren Duran RBI ground would make it 9-0. A Rafael 2-run home run would make it 11-0. Yoshida RBI double would make it 12-0. A David Hamilton RBI single would make it 13-0. A Bobby Dialbeck RBI double would make it 15-0. A Cedeno Rafael RBI double would make it 16-0. And Pablo Reyes would hit an RBI single to make it 17-0 already in the end. So, yeah, really, really strong job by this Red Sox offense. I mean, what else can you ask for? 17-0 in your home ballpark. That's got to be a great boost to your team. So, really great job there. For the Cubs, they had on the mound Ben Brown, who went 3 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 4.3 ERA on the season. The Red Sox had on the mound Josh Wisnowski, who went 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, so more of a opener. And after that, you didn't really need anyone too serious on the mound. I mean, you had Pablo Reyes pitching, who is a position player, and even he went 1 inning and only gave 1 hit. So it just seems like the Cubs' bats weren't working. The Cubs had Matt Mervis and Patrick Rizzo on the mound as well, 2 position players. Mervis gave up 6 earned runs over 2/3 innings pitched. So, yeah, definitely not the shining pitching accomplishment you want for this Cubs team. So, really good job by the Red Sox, and just get this momentum going. Next, we would have Guardians and Braves also on Saturday. I did want to talk about this game as well. Scoring would open up in the top of the 8th, actually, so really low-scoring game until this. Obviously, it was 0-0. Jose Ramirez would hit an RBI grounder to make it 1-0. Jose Ramirez would then steal second base, which would cause Steven Kwan to steal home to make it 2-0. I've been noticing there's been a lot of double steals in baseball this season. It's kind of been surprising, so that's something that has been interesting. Bottom of the 8th, Travis d'Arnaud would hit a ground rule double to make it 2-1 Cleveland, and then a Jared Kelenic RBI single would make it 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th. So nice job by the Braves offense to tie this game right back up. Top of the 11th, Josh Naylor would hit an RBI double to make it 3-2, and Ramon Laureano would hit a sacrifice fly to make it 4-2. So, yeah, really, really great job by the Guardians offense. They had on the mound Tanner Bybee, who was great. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. The Braves had on the mound Charlie Morton, who went 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, none earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 3.6 ERA in the season. And a lot of people talk about the Guardians and how surprising they have been this season. And, they're kind of a fluke and they're not going to keep it up. Well, they're beating these good teams like the Braves. And I think that if they keep doing that and they keep performing like this, who's going to say that they're kind of frauds anymore? So, really great job by this Guardians team to, keep proving people wrong and keep being great. So, yeah, just watching their season so far, especially with all the injuries they've had as well, with losing Shane Bieber early, you've been really, really great, and just a great job by you guys to just battle adversity and be as great as you have been. I was not a believer in you, but you've been really, really great this season. So, yeah, just really, really great job there by this team, and really good job. So, yeah, the next ones we are going to talk about is going to be Yankees and Brewers. Both these games, Friday and Saturday. So the Friday game we would start with for the Yankees and Brewers would be 7-6. Top of the first, Juan Soto would open up with a solo home run to make it 1-0. Then Alex Verdugo would do the same, making it 2-0. Joey Ortiz would hit a 2-run home run to make it 2-2. And then in the bottom of the third, Blake Perkins would hit a 2-run home run to make it 4-2. Trent Grisham would then hit a 3-run home run to make it 5-4. So really great job by Trent Grisham against his former team to come in clutch and hit this great home run. Bottom of the 6th, Joey Ortiz would hit a sacrifice fly to Alex Verdugo to score Gary Sanchez to make it 5-5. Top of the 10th, Giancarlo Stanton would hit an RBI double to make it 6-5. But the Brewers would come back, as in the bottom of the 10th, Willie Adames would hit an RBI single to make it 6-6. And in the bottom of the 11th, Joey Ortiz would win the game and make it 7-6 Milwaukee. So really good job by this Milwaukee team, has beat a lot of expectations that people weren't expecting them to be that good of a team this year. So they've been really great so far, and beating a good Yankees team isn't going to take away the belief by any person. They had on the mound Colin Ray, who went 6 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not really what you want, not a great start. For the Yankees, they had on the mound Luis Gil, who went 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 4.01 ERA on the season. Again, he has such great stuff that I think you got to keep just rolling him out there. So that was game 1 of the series. Brewers would take it on a walk-off. But the next game we would have would be a Yankees blowout, winning 15-3. Not going to be going over every single run that happened because it was a lot. But it was a really great win. And some highlights here for the Yankees box score. You had Alex Verdugo at 5 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. Really great game by him. Giancarlo Stanton, who had 5 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Really great job by him, and just a really, really great game. For the Yankees, they did have on the mound Carlos Rodon, who had arguably his best start as a Yankee. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Has gone through a lot of adversity as a Yankee so far, but had a really great start there. Has been pretty solid this season, so really good job by him. And great job to end up, winning this game for them and having a really solid start. The Brewers had Joe Ross, who went 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, a homer, and a 6.40 ERA on the season. So, really great start by him. And not a great start by him, sorry, I apologize. Not a good start by him at all. Not what you want to see versus Milwaukee. Versus the Yankees with Milwaukee. So, Also, I want to talk about White Sox and Rays. Not to go over anything specifically, but the White Sox would sweep the Rays, which was a shocking thing. The Rays are not the Rays of old where they've been a World Series contender, but they're still not a bad team. They're still a really good team. And the White Sox are not, to put it nicely. But the White Sox signed Tommy Pham and immediately swept the Rays, so it could be something. Could just be like Tommy Pham wanting to get revenge on his former team. So, really great job by the White Sox there. Again, the Rays aren't this horrible team that you've just swept. They're not like the A's and the Marlins or something. They're a good quality team, and sweeping them, I think, shows a lot of heart. And you may not have the best roster, but really still a great job there. And for the Rays, I'm kind of worried about them now. They're not off to the best start. They just got swept by this White Sox team. I think there are a lot of question marks about this Rays team, specifically their pitching, with all the injuries they've had. So I'm really watching them going forward now. I'm watching what's going to happen with them. I think that there's a lot of question marks to answer, and dropping a series to a White Sox team that is absolutely horrible, I think answers a lot less and brings a lot more questions for you to answer. So, I'm definitely watching this Rays season as it goes on, but they have not been good so far, and not been great. Next, we have Astros and Rockies. This would be the Mexico series, so that's why I wanted to talk about it. The Astros will win both games pretty easily against the Rockies. Not a surprise here, but again, the Astros have been struggling this season, as we all know of, but when I've said before, when you're a good team who's been struggling and you're playing a bad team, you have to capitalize, and that's what the Astros did. They won this series pretty handily. They beat the Rockies overseas, and just a really positive thing. Winning a game in a different country against a bad team kind of gets your spirits up, I think, and reminds them, we are the Astros. We're great. We're a great team. We know what we're doing, and we're not done. This is not the end of the dynasty, as a lot of people want to say. So I think it was a really, really great job by the Astros, and just a really, really positive thing for them. So, happy for them there. I think it was a really great job, and just a really solid game in series with the Astros. Again, I think you have to take advantage of playing a team like the Rockies when you are a team like the Astros. And I think that's exactly what they did. They showed us, we are the Astros still. We're still that dynasty that you all know of. So, a great job there, and great job by the Astros. So, we're going to go into our fourth and final segment here. We're talking about some notable transaction-related news and all that. So, we go into our third segment, and we'll see you after the break. So, thanks, and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC. To access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fourth and final segment, which is going to be talking about some general news stories around the league. This is one I like to do, just talk about, some general transaction-related and injury stuff around the league, just some news stories that maybe aren't for a full segment, but are still notable and still stuff that I did want to touch upon around the league. So, yeah, we'll be going to that. So the first one we have is Jordan Beck. He has been called up by the Colorado Rockies, and they will be placing Nolan Jones on the IL. So a bit of good news and bad news for the Rockies. Beck, one of their more notable prospects, a guy who was a third-round pick out of the draft for them a few years ago, a really great prospect for them, has been tearing up AAA, and it was just sooner or later before he would be called up by the Rockies and end up playing a significant role here. So, it is unfortunate that Nolan Jones' injury was the reason that he was called up, and that the reason he is going to end up playing significant time for this team. But still, I'm really excited to watch Beck. I think he could be a big part of this Rockies future. And I think with this Rockies team that is kind of looking for an identity, looking for something to kind of show that we have a core, we have some players who can be significant pieces for us, I think that Beck is going to be a big part of that, and I'm really excited to watch him. Also, Nolan Jones going the IL, it is something you don't want to see. Jones has been one of the biggest positives for this Rockies team over the past few years now. Has been a really solid player for them these past 2 years after coming over from Cleveland. So, something I'm watching to see how Beck performs, but hopefully Nolan Jones can come back sooner rather than later for this team. Next one we have is Avisail Garcia. He was placed on the injured list with a strain for the Marlins. Garcia has just had a really rough time of it since coming over to South Beach. With him, he's just had so many injuries, and the thing is also, when he has been on the field, he's been really bad. A lot of Marlins fans are considering him one of the worst contracts in franchise history. It is kind of shorter, 4 years, $48 million, not that much, but I think for a smaller market Marlins team who doesn't spend that much money on free agents, it is more significant than a team maybe like the Mets or a team like the Yankees, the Dodgers, who would have signed him, because you do play in Miami, you're the Marlins, you're not that big market of a team. So, I'm watching Garcia to see how he does perform in these last 2 years of this contract, but so far it has not been good, and it's just more injuries for him, more underperforming. So, definitely not great for this Marlins team, and not great for Garcia. I think he really wants to be good for this team, and just has not been good so far. So, yeah. The Cubs put Jordan Wicks on the injured list with a forearm strain, which is not good at all. As we've talked about, there's been so many pitcher injuries this season, and having another one now is not what you want to see. For Wicks, he has been a really great starter for this Cubs team, has been a first-round pick. He was a first-round pick a few years ago, has been a really impact starter for this team. They lost a few guys this offseason, most notably Marcus Stroman. So having Wicks put on the IL with this forearm strain is not good, just because it is an injury, of course, but also a forearm strain. If you're a pitcher, you don't want to see anything related to your arm whatsoever, especially this year with all the injuries that have gone around baseball. I think that Cubs fans are really holding out hope that their young stud is not one of these guys that also has a big arm injury, has something like a Tommy John, which is obviously worst case scenario. I'm just kind of thinking about the worst case scenario here. It only is 15 games. We only know of it being a strain so far, but strains can become worse, and I think anything with an arm for a pitcher right now is notable and can become worse. So I'll be watching that, and I'll be seeing if there is any updates with his injury. But Wicks has been a big fixture of the Cubs rotation this year, figures to be one for a little while for this Cubs team, and you're really hoping it isn't something significant that takes them out for this year and maybe even future. So we'll be watching that, but could just be overreacting. But again, anything with the arm for a pitcher is not something you want to see, and is definitely not a positive. The White Sox DFA'd David Garcia. a few days ago. Garcia was, of course, a former top prospect with the Yankees, kind of fizzled out, went with the White Sox, tried to revive his career as a reliever, but was not working, and they did DFA him. So unfortunate for him, as it kind of seems he won't be a significant player in the MLB for the future. So yeah, we'll be watching that, and we'll be seeing. So we'll be seeing what happens with him and seeing if any team does take a chance on him. We have Luis Robert as well. We have an update on his rehab. He is going to possibly be back by middle May, according to some higher-ups within the White Sox organization. They think his rehab is going really, really positively, and I think that Robert being back by middle May is going to be a big positive for this White Sox team. They've had a lot going for them recently. Of course, I just talked about they swept the Rays, so I think getting your best player back this early after thinking he might be out for a little bit longer is a really, really great thing. And I'm gonna watch the White Sox and Robert closely here in the upcoming weeks, and seeing what does happen with him, seeing if he does come back, and seeing how much this injury does affect him. So I'll be watching that, and I'll see what's going to happen with Robert. So yeah, I'll be watching that and seeing if this does affect him, and him being their best player, how much does him coming back to the White Sox also help this team that has kind of been on fire recently. So the Red Sox have DFA'd Joely Rodriguez and called up Naoyuki Uwasawa. Uwasawa was, of course, acquired in a preseason trade with the Rays in spring training. Is going to be playing more of a long relief role for the Red Sox. Came over from Japan. Was not a big signing, but signed a minor league contract with the Rays and did not make the roster, but he still wanted an MLB opportunity, and he is getting that now with the Red Sox, who he got traded to after he didn't make the Rays roster, and the Rays kind of tried to find a better fit for him after he didn't make it. So I'm really interested to watch Uwasawa. I think he's going to be a big part of the Red Sox rotation. I think he doesn't have the best stuff, but I think he just knows how to pitch, and I think that if you can get some of his stuff to a better result, which might be hard, but I think that's what you have development people for. So I'll be watching him. I think he can be a quality reliever for this team, and we'll be watching him in the future. So yeah. The Red Sox traded for Garrett Cooper. They just had a big first base injury with their starting first baseman Tristan Casas being out for a little bit now with an injury for a few months. I think Cooper can come in and be a quality piece. He's a guy that hits lefties really well, got off to a solid start with the Cubs. He's just a quality MLB veteran that can come in with an injury and fill in really well. So yeah, I'm watching Cooper here to see what the Red Sox. I think it was a quality move by them, and definitely watching Cooper with the Red Sox now. Again, I think it was a good trade by them, a good guy to get in with the team and fill in one of your spots that is going to be out for a little bit with injuries. The Red Sox have been hit by the injury bug a lot, and pretty significantly over these past few weeks. So I think Cooper can be a guy that kind of come in and weather that storm, just play some good baseball for the Red Sox, and I'll be watching that. Justin Steele is having a rehab start Wednesday, which is big news for the Cubs. Of course, Steele is their ace, one of the Cy Young runner-ups from last year for the Cubs. I think getting him back would be a really, really great start, really, really great sign for the Cubs. Did have that freak injury at the first start of the year against the Rangers, so I'll be watching him and his rehab and how it does go. But I think getting your ace back is a great sign, and especially with the Cubs now getting Jordan Wicks on the injured list with the forearm strain, you need all the pitching help you can get. So I'll be watching Justin Steele here with his rehab, and seeing if he does come back, and seeing when he does come back, and how much his injury might have affected him. Next, we have Kyle Bradish, who is apparently going to be back soon for the Orioles. Obviously, has not made a start this year after his breakout season last year because of preseason injury. So yeah, I think this is going to be a huge impact for the Orioles. Their rotation has been pretty great this season already, with guys like Grayson Rodriguez and, of course, Corbin Burnes, who you acquired in the blockbuster trade, having been really, really positive and really, really great pitchers. So yeah, I'm going to be seeing when his rehab starts come, and when he does end up making a return to this Orioles rotation. It should be this week, apparently, so that's really exciting for Orioles fans. They're having an amazing season, of course, already, and getting your second-best pitcher back, I think, is another great sign, and definitely watching that, and definitely seeing what does go on here. So with that, yeah. Last thing I wanted to talk about was Angels selecting Zach Kristofak from AAA. He will be putting in some depth for the Angels pitching, and will probably be playing a long relief role, maybe even starting one game or two. But he has a really, really interesting and kind of sad story, but he finally made it to the MLB. So I'm really happy for him. And Sam Blum of The Athletic, who covers the Angels, a guy who does a really great job over there, had a great story on just his life and what he's gone through to get to the MLB. So if you are a baseball fan, I do recommend checking that out. So I wish Zach all the best luck, and really, really sad story, but congratulations to him for finally making the MLB and proving that all his hard work was worth it. So yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you don't only get notified when I upload, but when everyone else on this channel does, all the great content creators. So yeah, we'll be we also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a great day, and we'll see what baseball throws us tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.